Para hacer una bolsa, una hoja de maguey, una madera ancho, a sacar la cáscara con la espalda de machete, apretar en el estómago. Pero el líquido, tiene líquido, una hoja de maguey, le da mucho comezón en la cara. Ya cuando se salga toda la cáscara, una penca, vamos a mojar, es para sacar el verde, para que no quede verde la fibra. Ya después que ya sale toda la cáscara, vamos a solear para que se seque. Ese no dilata para solear. Una hora ya está bien para manejar, a torcer, a tejer.
Seis semanas para terminar en red.
Mi nombre es Sergio Arturo Castro Martínez. Soy ingeniero agrónomo veterinario. Llevo trabajando en Chiapas 50 años en las comunidades indígenas del estado, ayudando a las comunidades en trabajos de curaciones, introduciendo agua potable. Hemos construido escuelas con la ayuda de amigos del exterior, no de México. Hemos construido alrededor de 35 escuelas en las comunidades de Chamula, en Sinacantán, en Tenejapa y en San Cristóbal de las Casas, en los barrios pobres, ¿no? Mira, la comunidad indígena tiene su traje representativo. En Chiapas, te voy a dar una forma general, son 5 millones de habitantes, de los cuales 2 millones son indígenas, que están repartidos en 7 grupos lingüísticos. Indígenas que hablan Tzotzil, Celtal, Tojolabal, Chol, Maya, Zoque y Hermano. Y cada grupo lingüístico tiene una área, una región. Ahora, cada grupo lingüístico está formado por grupos étnicos. Y cada grupo étnico tiene su vestimenta que lo representa como grupo étnico. Chamula tiene su vestimenta, Sinacantán la suya, San Andrés, Chenaló, Tenejapa, Magdalena, Chachihuitán. Cada grupo étnico tiene su vestimenta, tiene su municipio, tiene su santo protector y una especialidad de trabajo.
Camarón fresco, jaiba y filete de pescado.
Tenía también ahí le llaman Cho'jac, el nutí, que viene siendo una red, ¿verdad? Esa red era la forma de morral, ¿verdad? El nutí o Cho'jac es una red hecha a mano, ¿verdad? Donde le sirve al indígena para aportar cosas que trae parte del indumentario, ¿sí?, de todas las comunidades en los hombres. Ese es un sistema muy sencillo, ¿verdad? Tú sabes, es un instrumento de una madera con 2 clavos largos, donde hacen la base de de cáñamo, de algodón, antiguamente era de pita, o sea, de fibra de enequén, ¿verdad? Donde ellos mismos, con la mano, ¿verdad? Y con su piel, iban haciendo lo que era el hilo, ¿verdad? Y se formaba con una pequeña aguja, iban formando lo que es la base del nutío, del Cho'jac, ¿verdad?
52, 54.
Okay, I'm Chip Morris, or Walter Francis Morris Jr., as my book's put. I've lived in Chiapas most of the time since 1972. And one of my first research paper I never finished was on how to make a net bag. As San Cristobal grows bigger, and like half of the population are Indians, the tourists who come here are not here to see Maya culture. It's weird to see the town become much more Indian, and in a sense, much more separated from Indians. I mean, they've been using net bags for maybe 5,000, 7,000 years. It goes predates weaving. There's less interest in textiles. They will grow more expensive and more limited in use.
Mira, es complicado, ¿verdad? Desgraciadamente, en la actualidad hemos visto cambios radicales de colores, colorización, de la utilización de materiales llamativos. Por ejemplo, tenemos pues hilos metálicos, ¿verdad? Ahorita lo fabrican inclusive para el turista, ¿no? Utilizando diversos materiales. Depende mucho de que se le dé cierta publicidad para que no se pierda esa tradición de hacer su Cho'jac o nutí, ¿verdad? Porque desgraciadamente cuando el indígena lo teje para la venta y no tiene venta, se desanima.
Y los jóvenes ya perdieron. Nos fallamos en San Cristóbal, pero hay veces encontramos el cliente, hay veces que no. Es una lástima, porque de balde los perdemos el tiempo. Y allí quedamos 2 días o 3 días, ahí quedamos. Sí, así es. No hay una tienda, no hay unas donde nos entregamos por entrego, nomás no hay. Solamente sí encontramos unas personas lo que quieren comprar. Es así nomás. Mi nombre Pedro Ruiz Jiménez. Aquí me nací en el pueblo de Altama. Aquí me crecí, aquí me crié. Y de mi edad tengo 76 años. El padre nos enseñó a tejer, a coser, el red. Y las mujeres, la mamá lo enseña a sus hijas a bordar, a tejer hilos también. Así, de más antes, de más tiempo. Así está el costumbre de nosotros. Es el único nomás la bolsa que hacemos. De hacer un red o trabajan la mujer también, lo tejen, lo bordan, es el único. Esa es una forma nomás, no hay otras cosas. Bueno, aquí en el pueblo, en cada pueblo, nos trabajamos con la milpa, pero solo para comer, pero no ajustamos por un año de este milpa que hacemos. Aquí está una planta que allá está sembrada. Aquí nomás sembramos, aquí plantamos, ¿sí? Y aquí sacamos. Lo usamos pura, aquí es pura natural. Una bolsa de tamaño de 50 de la altura, es como lleva 6 semanas para hacer una bolsa. Es por eso, dilata mucho una bolsa para hacer, por eso el precio. Porque no como una máquina, por todo en la pierna, en la mano, tejer, ¿no? Todo así.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of Nutties. They're very, very useful. I mean, there's a reason they're stuck around for thousands of years. It's because they're really useful. I like the idea of you putting a bag inside. Reaffirming tradition. You know, doing it not like your grandparents, but clearly related to your grandparents.
Das ist super. Das macht das Foto dann ganz aus.
One can be very traditional and very creative at the same time. Yeah, I think it's a very good idea. It means that people outside of this culture might be able to use it. You've rediscovered something they've been doing for a long time.
Tomás, están robando. Están mirando, no están robando.
I want to present to you my little project, Cho'jac items. It started about 2015-16 when I went to the Ethnological Museum in Zurich, Switzerland. There I saw this marvelous net in the collection and asked myself where it would come from. I then contacted the ethnological team there and asked about this thing, and they gave me the contact to another ethnologist, and with her I started to get in contact and talk about this thing, this net, which I so much liked. To know what we talked about, it's about the whole story is placed in Mexico, in Chiapas. It's in the very south of Mexico. It's a rural area in the mountains mostly, and high mountains, like 2,000 meters above sea level. And yeah, it's poor, very poor, underdeveloped too. No mobile phones, except in the city of San Cristobal de las Casas, but the rural parts are very poor. This is a picture of the Ethnological Museum in Sweden. What I found online, the nets are there forever, as mentioned in the movie already. They have found some pieces 7,000 years before BC are dated. So yeah, they're really, really old. Before weaving already, they started doing these nets. The Maya did this. The Maya, you might know, the people, the ethnological group of people which were living in Southern or Central America in that centuries back then. Here you can see old drawings and also little piece on the right from the Ethnological Museum in Dahlem in Berlin, where you can see that people were wearing these nets over the forehead already back then to transport heavy loads, to transport wood or whatever they had heavy to transport. They're made of sisal. Sisal is a kaki. There are different kinds of sisal agave. You also maybe know them from the alcohol, which is made of. That's the, what's it called? Tequila. Tequila is very known. Everybody knows tequila. So this is the plant the nets are made of. Here you can see Don Pedro cutting an agave in the back of his house, in his garden. On the right side, you see the fibre. It's kind of whitish, and you also know this material maybe from carpets or cat trees. They are made of the same material. It's very, very strong. It's salt resistant, like you can use it for what's tau, the ones they use in the in ship making to keep the ships on in the harbor. Ropes, it's for ropes making as well. So I traveled to Mexico to find out more about this story, about this product. I met there the Maya-Tzotzil. There are one group of one ethnical group there. This is the traditional costume they are wearing with their woolen jacket. Women are wearing black woolen skirts, also made with this hairy wool. Oops, now something is stucking. This is also a traditional costume, the Sunday costume. And also there you see that they are wearing these kind of nets in different sizes, in different kinds, to the traditional costume. Even today they are wearing it, not so much anymore because there is plastic bags, it's cheap, it's easy, and not so much work as to do a net, as to braid a net from the beginning on. You can see it on the market still, as I said, for heavy loads. Here, mice, which a lady is selling directly from her Cho'jac, from her nuti, from her net bag. Market scenes, very colorful, and yeah, they're still there, but they're about to die out. That was the reason why I went there and see by myself here while making the movie you just saw. So I came in contact with Don Pedro. I had to search for him for a long time. It was not easy to find him
because it was like a 2 hours ride from the main city. I had to change several times the taxi, or not a taxi, it's like the local taxi. And to find him only by asking people. So it was kind of a challenge to get in contact to him. But the family was really nice. They welcomed me, and I came back a few days later to talk about my project, and they were very welcoming. They were interested in working together too. And so I started with the whole project, with inlay, with colors. You know the whole design process yourself. I went in the linen factory to see what kind of fabrics they would have. It was all quite a process. From the beginning on, it was clear for me that I only want to use high quality products. I never want to have a cheap product. I knew that this net is something very special, and I wanted to keep the level of it. So I decided to use linen, cotton, which is eco cotton as well, like ecological cotton for the inlay. Leather, I only wanted to use local as well, so it's from local German cows, with vegetable tanning, so no chemicals used, extra thick leather, no thin leather. Yeah, I just tried to use the best materials, and the whole thing was sewn in a local workshop for people with disabilities in Berlin, the north of Berlin, to bring this group of people in the process too. As well, this is the tag of the bag. I published all my producers. Everything is quite clear where it comes from, what's inside. I never wanted to make a, yeah, I always want to be clear about that as well. So I showed it to everybody, which I think is the best thing to do. I started to have, the first product was the rucksack. You can change to another bag. Like if you remove one part of the straps, it will become another bag. So you have always 2 in 1. That's the collection that's there by now, online on the shop, on the website. Key chains as well as bags in different styles. Of course, there was a photo shooting. The whole process started then. And the project was nominated for several prizes. The most important one was the Bundespreis Eco-Design, which is a federal prize for eco-design. That was very nice, of course, to be part of it. And yeah, so I went back because it was a few years later. So I went back because I still wanted to, I wasn't satisfied with the whole thing. I want to give back something to the people in Mexico too. So I collaborated with an NGO, a local NGO, where we started to have classes where people could learn the technique again. I want to give something back to the people. So we put up posters in the region and met at the NGO together with the crafters, the artisans, and there we learned people how to do the whole process, as you saw in the movie again. It's a very laborious and heavy work, especially the fiber. To get the fiber is really, really hard work, and it takes a while. but we had a good time. It was very fun. Actually, we had to do at the first time already 2 classes or 2 courses because people were so much interested in it. Here are some views from the class, from the course. And yeah, now for the future, we started to have fabrics made of this net. Also, we applied for the Cultural Intellectual Property Rights Initiative you get to know on Saturday. Heike mentioned it already. Also, we tried to be part of the UNESCO World Heritage Fund, and we apply for that too, and we'll see where it goes. Go on cho'jac.net, that's the website, or follow us on Instagram.
Thank you, Thomas